Hey guys, hey, I had another dream that is really important to share. It is completely metaphorical, and I was given the prophetic answers to what each part of the dream symbolizes. So, there are a couple things that I don't have a lot of information on, and I probably could do more research on, um, like other countries that Obama has focused on, and whether he's visited or spent time there. I don't actually know. So if you guys can help with any of the interpretation, please let me know. But in this dream, I was living in a square White House, and in this dream, I represent the United States, and my mom in this dream represents the UK. And in this dream, it started where the Antichrist was touring our house. I, being representing the United States, already knew the Antichrist before my mom knew him. And I knew that he was the Antichrist, and I was very afraid of him coming to tour. So for the first, it seemed like 10 minutes of the dream, I was literally hiding behind the house, trying to figure out which way he was going to tour, and I was going to walk the opposite direction so I would avoid running into him. And the house, inside the house, represented the two political parties. On one side of the house, and there's stuff that I don't remember, which made me know that one side of the house was Republican. The Democratic side of the house was empty. There was no furniture. It was an empty part of the house. And then the part of the house with the Republican stuff on it had things in it. And it was red, and the other half, was blue. And the Antichrist was Obama, and he came to the door. We were supposed to go on a tour with him at 2 o'clock. And 2 o'clock represents the year 2000. And he was knocking on the door. He was pounding on the door. He was very angry. And at first, for a while, I was hiding behind the house. And then I went inside the house on the Republican side of the house. And inside the house, the VHS movie, Bambi, the cartoon movie, was playing. And I thought of a victim, like a spotless victim, like Bambi being like that. And then I thought of the scene in Bambi where it's symbolic of the Antichrist when the evil deer comes into it. So I was wiping the screen on the TV while this was playing, and the Antichrist was pounding on the door, and all I know is that we didn't open the door until 2008 or later, which is, of course, when Obama was elected. Or it was 208 in the dream. 208. Like, I kept being like, oh my goodness, my mom's not opening the door. He's going to be even more mad that we're late opening the door. And I didn't greet him or anything when he first, so she opened the door and I was already gone. I had left and I'd gone down the street to this detached garage that was part of our house but was really far away, and I don't know if it represents Puerto Rico, I don't know if it represents South America, but it's one of those type of places. So I was there, and there was all of this stuff out in the garage, and I turned on the light and I was looking through it nervously, trying to hide from being involved in the tour. And then there was a sidewalk in the middle of the garage. It went all the way through. Like, there was like a back part that opened in the garage, and then the front, and went all the way through, and both the doors were open. And the Antichrist and my mom in the UK came through the back way. And when I saw the Antichrist in this part of the dream, it turned into one of my coworkers. So for some reason, Obama to this country represents a coworker. Okay, and I went to go hug my coworker, and there was something really, really wrong inside of her. Like, you could feel it, like, spewing out, and it made your whole body weak and sick to be around it. And it felt like there was, like, this really intense anger inside of her. But, like, I knew her in the past, so I just brushed it off that, like, she was going through something really strange and weird in life. But after I hugged her, my body just was covered in pain. And then it turned back into Obama. And oh my gosh, that represents what Obama and the UK did to that country, whatever it is. Please, someone tell me what that country is. And turned back into Obama. And, you know, I represent the United States. And then me and, well, my mom really, the UK, invited Obama over for dinner, said, you can stay for dinner if you want. And he looked at me and he said, well, you messed up the dinner last time. And I had this vision of this purple spaghetti. And to me, the purple spaghetti represented the blending of the two political parties. And so I said, my mom was trying to make excuses for me. And I said, well, it's okay. You can stay tonight because I didn't make the spaghetti this time. Okay, so this is telling you that this time the US voters aren't really actually voting. Their vote doesn't actually count. And after this interaction, my mom and Obama gave me a bunch of avocados. So many avocados that I couldn't even carry them back to my house. They were halved and pitted, and I had to set them, I was awkwardly trying to carry them, and I had to set them down, a lot of them down on the sidewalk because I couldn't carry all of them back to my house. So on the way back, I tried to get away from them, and I opened this door that said private entrance into a elementary school. And at first I thought it was going to be locked, but it wasn't even locked. I just walked straight in. There was no security. It just said private entrance. That was it. And I was really hoping that my mom and Obama would not follow me, but they did. They just walked right in. There was no security. And as soon as I got into the school, a little girl started following me and followed me the rest of the dream, and she started prophesying to me, saying, I love you so much, we're going to be together forever, everything's going to be okay. And she would just say that periodically, and she would like kind of sing it. And then when we got in the school, it was like this time, almost like a book burning kind of thing, where everyone had to turn in their DVDs. You had to turn in DVDs. So I turned in one DVD, and it was like you turn in ones you borrowed or something. But I had these 7 DVDs that were on, I was holding my hand awkwardly all of a sudden. 7 DVDs that were mine, and I knew that they were mine, but it was awkward because it looked like I was supposed to return them, but I wasn't. They were mine. So I was awkwardly holding these 7 DVDs, and then Obama and the school administrators started talking about like loans and credit cards, and how they'd held off long enough, and they'd done so much good, and they tried to give us more time, but they'd held off long enough, and they were and didn't you know your daughter was racking up $4,000 a week? So all of a sudden they were going to put this huge burden on people that hadn't been on them before. And the little girl continues to prophesy to me. No one else pays any attention to her. She was just speaking to me. And then we try to get back, because we lost our way. We have to get back to my house. And we take this school shuttle, and we try to get off at this pedestrian crosswalk that's going to lead to my house. And as we try to get off, the bus driver says, "Oh no, this is not a stop." And then I wake up. But it was really cool how my mom at the UK and me, we both knew it was the Antichrist. We both didn't like him. Nobody liked him. And anyways, that was the dream that I had. It was really intense and really powerful, and I pray that it helps you guys. And let me know if you have any questions or insights.